Now, sometimes when we're using our plugins and we're using them on tracks, sometimes it uses too much power if you don't have enough power in your system, enough processors, and using a small system like a laptop compared to using a desktop system. Like right now I'm using an iMac. If I was using a smaller system, I might want to do it differently sometimes to save on power. Now, how this works, sometimes I'd make an auxiliary track like I did before in the movie prior to the last video clip, where I have this drum track selected here, and I want to make this drum effects return. So what I normally would do is I would, let's say, maybe take these compressors off here, no compressor, and this is just a limiter I'm going to use here probably. I may want to keep that there. And I'll come here and I'll get me a compressor here. I'll get a compressor right here, and I'll select the one I want to use. And in this case, I want to use a drum comp. So an overall drum compression, just for now to get an idea. And I'll make the sends go here to this drum effect. As you can see, I already set up for that right now. And I can just get my level set up right here and right here. And now I'll mute it. See the difference now? I'm actually using one track. So what's happening here is I've taken the sends, and instead of using that compressor on 3 different tracks, these are on one channel, which is right here, was the auxiliary send I had earlier. And now this auxiliary send is my group. It's a subgroup of these groups. It's a subgroup of all the sends that go here to drum effects. And this little group here has the compression for the kick, the snare, and the hi-hat. This is a great way to save on your RTAS power. It makes it much easier. I have one compressor now. And it's a stereo compressor with that. So it's right there. I can set it up to make it even tighter if I wanted to, add some more gain to it. And it'll affect all those signals that are going to it from right here. As you can see, that's the kick, this is the snare, and right here is the hi-hat. And all 3 of them are going to this compressor. And you see the difference right there. As I put it in the mix, I can bring it down. That's the dry signal, of course, without this compressor on it. Up further, more tighter. I can make it fit what I want to make it fit for. To this, so I'm right in here. It's right in sync. And this is a great way also to get a much tighter compression on all your signals. And this also works for reverb. I have reverb over here as well. So you got these reverb sends right here. And I go to the other side of the board here. I have this drum verb. I can bring this drum verb all the way back down here. I do this sometimes as well just to make sure I can have them together. And I may want to view them that way, like this. And I'll say, okay, I want to view these right here like this and see what they look like, what they sound like. And this is a particular mix I would have. Well, sometimes I'll even make it easier on myself. Rather than doing that, I'll go back, let's say put it back where it belongs. Over here next to my master fader. Right here. And I'll go to my window. I'll get my memory locations. And what I'll do is I'll go back to the end here. And I'll set the track view that I want to have. So in this case, I just want to have the drums view right here, right? So I get rid of the rest of these tracks. Go further down here. Get rid of the rest of these. I just want to have that drum verb. And I want to get rid of the rest of these. And just have the drum verb next to it. And so the drum verb right next to it, this is a great view right here. What I'll do, I'm going to do like, mix the tracks. I'm going to get them right. I want to see what's in front of me, what I'm affecting. I've got the drums, I have drum effect, and I got my reverb effect as well. And I'll go in here, and I'll press enter. And I get me a memory location. Now here in memory location, I'll go to none. I just want to remember just to set up for the track show me. No need for a zoom view, I'm not zooming, just the track show me right here. And this window configuration where I have it where it's not minimized. I'll press OK, and now I can see this mix. I'll press play here. I can see this mix going on. I can tell the reverb. I can have my reverb here, I'll say. Adjust my reverb mix. That's just one view. Now, that view is right. I'm going to label it again. I'm going to label this 102. And it appears here, and you can see here in my memory location window. That's that view. My overall view could be here, all the tracks. See that? Here's my view for my drum view. This is my drum. I'll name it right now. I'll call this my drum mix. It's like that there. It says drum mix. That's my drum mix. I can also go to here and I'll say, well, this is my overall mix view. I'll click on this. And this is the over. Fix that right there. All view. And I want to see the overall view. I can see my drum view, my overall view. It's really cool. Great way to work. So now I can see my mix. I see my sends, where my sends are right there. As you can see, I have the drum effects going here. I have the reverb going here. And this is a great way to have my sends and returns here. See? So the sends are going right here into it. If I even want to, I can even go here and I can say, well, I may want to put some sort of slapback return right there. Or right here, put some sort of effect. But this is just an idea to get you an idea to start out on how we can set up for our mix just certain elements, and get the idea of, let's say, saving power, where instead of having a compressor on all the tracks, I may want to have like a limiter here, which this is like a limiter, and I want to put a compressor against the kick, snare, and hi-hat. I can do that. I created this track earlier, which is my drum effects track. I created the send for it, and now I'm using it by putting a compressor there, and I get the mix I want to have for the drums. I can adjust it as well. And here's my reverb. I get my reverb on the hi-hats. Bring this down somewhat. And this is how we can mix using an auxiliary send.